Okay guys, so in this video I want to show you how I'm going to apply classic extensions on my mannequin. So first thing first, I'm going to sanitize my hands, and then I have those strip lashes so we can apply on their lids, so we can apply extensions. And then I have the foam tape. I'm going to show you how I'm going to tape the bottom lashes. They are already customized. And then I have the glue tray where I'm going to refresh my glue. Usually I like to do this every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes. It really depends on my humidity. And then I have my limit lashes, my lashes. And what I'm going to use today is the glue from Live Bay Lashes. And I also have a date on it, so just so you can keep track on your glue. Okay, so what I'm going to use is I'm going to shake the glue for at least, I would say, a minute. And now what I'm going to do is I never shake the glue with the cap on. So I like to use a little piece of wipes so you can just shake the glue. Now I'm going to add just one drop. And then I'm going to clean the nozzle again, just to make sure there is nothing on this area right here, because you don't want to get it clogged or something like that. Okay, now I'm going to put the cap on. And usually every 15 minutes I like to refresh the glue. That means I'm gonna wipe the old one and I'm gonna refresh with a new dot. Now I'm going to use this tweezer from Extreme Lashes. This is for picking. But I will say for classic lashes you can use any type of tweezer, because anyway you're picking only one extension. When we're talking about volume, that's another story, because you have to have, you know, the tweezer that really works for you. And then I'm going to use this isolation tweezer, which is from Extreme Lashes as well. Okay. Now I'm going to apply the pads, and usually I like to tape this on the back of my hand first, just because it's very sticky, so I don't want to, you know, pull their lashes while I take this off. Okay, now usually I like to start from the inner corner and go all the way and follow the lash line, okay? Now I'm going to use the same thing on the second eye and follow the lash line. Perfect. Now what I usually do after I apply the pads, I like to do the map. Now in this case, let's say, just roughly, just so you can get a big picture, let's say in this case I'm going to use an open eye. Open eye, that means my focus, it will be right in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna draw a line in the inner corner, one in the outer corner, where her lashes start and where her lashes will finish. And then I'm going to find where her middle pupil is, where her eye is, and that will be my middle focus. I'm going to do the same on the second eye and then the middle. Now I'm going to apply the strip lashes. And guys, this is very important. You have to keep in mind that those strip lashes, they are very plasticky. So it's going to be very hard for us sometimes to apply lashes on them. Now, I always explain to all my students, the reason why I would like to apply lashes on the mannequin and practice on the mannequin is because you want to understand your isolation, how you separate the lashes, you know, how the placement is. Anyway, it's not going to be exactly like the natural lashes, because natural lashes, you will see layers, you will see so many lashes, one is curled, one is straight. Those lashes, basically, they are all straight. So it will be a little bit easier, but in the same time will be super hard to attach any lashes on them, because the glue, it's is not going to work exactly on like on the natural lashes. Okay, so now we have the big picture how my map is going to be. So let's say you want to measure the natural lash and see what kind of length we are going to use on my model today. So for example, I'm going to pick an extension which is 12 millimeter. That will be the length. And I'm going to go close to her natural lash right in the middle, because usually the natural lashes, the middle are the ones that will be longer than the rest of the eye. So I'm going in the middle and just try to measure. So for me, I will say Her natural lashes has somewhere around 10. Now, if she has 10, you can basically go at least 1 millimeter more or 2. It really depends on the natural lashes, but never, ever, ever more than 2 millimeters than the natural lash, because you don't want to create that damage. You don't want to make the natural lashes feel a little bit too hard, or you don't want to damage the natural lashes. If her natural lashes will be somewhere around 10, I will say I will go easily by 11. So that means I'm going to split again in 2, and that will be my middle focus because it's right in the middle. So let's say this will be 11, this will be 11. Now I'm going to go down by 10. This will be the millimeter, right? The length. And then I'm going to split one more time and just a couple 9. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going more on this side, 10, maybe a couple 9s, and maybe a couple 8s. Really depends how many lashes we have in the inner corner. Now we'll do the same on the other eye, 10, 9, and a few 8s, 10 and 9. Now you're probably asking why I didn't finish all the way to 8 in this corner, but the reason that I'm not using the same length is because in the outer corner we don't have the lashes like super short like in the inner corner. Okay, now I'm ready for applying the lashes. So let's work on the isolation first. What I usually suggest to my students, try to be very comfortable with your isolation hand, right? So for example, in my case, for me, it's very easy to really open my palm all the way to their forehead, right? So in order for me to stay very relaxed, because sometimes you may come here and you're gonna work for a couple minutes to fix your fan. So this hand has to be very relaxed. If not, you will gonna move, you're gonna poke them in their eyes, and we don't want something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate. I usually go from the base and open my tweezer as much as the tweezer allows me. So I have a lot of space when I come and connect the natural lash. Now let's pick an 11. Now, very important how you pick the extension. In my case, do you see how I'm holding the tweezer? My angle is very, I will say, straight down, not on the palette, but not straight up. It's right somewhere in the middle, and I come straight. I pick the lash almost a little more than the middle, and you never want to pick with the tip because you're gonna break the lash. Just try to go a little bit towards the middle. Now you're gonna pull the lash towards you. Don't curve like this. You're gonna pull easily towards you. Now I'm going to go in the glue. Very important to support your hand. In my case, I'm going to support my hand with my little finger, with my pinky finger, just because I don't want to go super deep inside the glue. Now you're going inside the glue and you want to wipe off. In this case, you don't see any bubbles, any glue attached to your extension. Now, if you're going like quick and you come off, you can see the bubbles on your lash. That means it's way too much glue, and that will cause damage, that will cause the lashes to stuck together and things like that. No, we don't want to see that. So again, we're gonna pick one extension towards the middle of the tweezer. We're gonna pull towards you, going into the glue, and you wipe off. Now, when you come to your natural lash, you want to make sure that your hand will be supported somewhere, either on their forehead, either on their cheeks, either on the bed, but somewhere. Don't just come in the air, because you have no control. Your hand is going to twitch, it's going to move, you're gonna shake. Now, very important, one more thing. You have to make sure that your angle is in the same direction with the natural lash. If the natural lash is turned to left, you're gonna come with your angle towards the left. If your lash is like more, let's say, curl, you're gonna come in the same direction with your curl. If your lash is straight down, you're gonna come with your direction exactly the same. So now my lash is already dry, but let's do one more time. Pick the lash, we're going to the glue, we wipe off, and now we're gonna place right on top. Now you have to make sure your hand is very steady and you don't move. Now you release the pressure and open the tweezer. let's do one more time. We're gonna pick one extension, going into the glue, you wipe off and you come in the same direction. You want to go at least 1 millimeter away from the base. You never want to apply on the skin. Very important. Now, since you follow the natural lash, you let them go down, you open the tweezer, and they will be exactly on top of the natural lash. Okay, let's do one in the inner corner. Going into the glue, you wipe it off, placed on the top of the natural lash, you hold, let the pressure off, open the tweezer and let them go. Remember, your hand has to be somewhere supported, either bed, either on their face, either on their cheeks, either on their nose, but it has to be somewhere in order for you to apply the extensions easier. If not, you're gonna shake, you're gonna move. Okay, 1 millimeter away from the base, hold it, let it go down and open the tweezer slowly. Everything has to be super slow. You don't want to, be fast. You don't want to finish in 1 hour. You don't want to be like, okay, I'm gonna be done in 1 hour. No. In here, you have to really take your time. It's going to take 5 hours, totally fine, as long as the natural lashes and the extensions are applied properly. And you don't see any thickness or you don't see any lashes, clumped together or anything like that. Very important to work neat and clean. Okay, 1 millimeter from the base, hold, and let them go. Now, one more thing that is very important. Don't work right next to each other. You want to give them a little bit more space in order for them to dry. So for example, if I work on this lash, I'm gonna give them a little break and I'm gonna give them a little space and I'm going to move to the 5th lash. You see how my hand is supported with my pinky finger on their head? Now, when you work in this eye, on the other eye, you want to make sure that same, you're going to support your hand somewhere. Now, don't be afraid to put your hand on their nose or on their forehead, somewhere on the face, because they're not going to feel, believe me. If they're gonna feel something, they're gonna say something. What I usually do, I like to support on their nose. Obviously not here, but on top, you're totally fine. I've been getting a lot of questions on my comments if I like to isolate first and then place, or take the lash and then isolate. Usually I like to isolate first, get my lash ready, stay here, my hand will be relaxed, and then I'm going to the glue. When I come with my extension, I know my lash is already, ready for me. Let's work on this eye because you will see a little bit better. If you are a lefty person, that will basically be the same. This will be your isolation hand and this will be your picking hand. Isolation is the most important thing when you start to do lashes. You have to work on your isolation in order for you to get, better, to get your speed and work very clean and neat. If your isolation is not on point, you will see your sets stuck together, you will see those lashes with a lot of glue on the base, and really we don't want to see that. Always open the tweezer as much as the lashes allows you. Now you will see sometimes those kind of clients with like 1,000,000 lashes and a lot of baby lashes that you can't really open the tweezer because all the lashes will come right on top. So in that case, you want to make sure that you move the baby lashes on the side like this and isolate again. Yeah, it may take a little more time, but in order for you to make your work clean, you have to take your time. Okay guys, so here is how I apply the classic on the mannequin, and you can easily see how I pick my lashes, how I go into the glue, how much glue I'm picking, and all those important steps when you start to do classic lashes. Very important that I always suggest to all my students, make sure your isolation is very good. Now I know it may take a couple minutes, it may take a few time until you got the one lash that I was just explaining, but this is at the beginning. Once you get more practice, you will be more comfortable and more comfortable. But isolation has to be perfect, and remember, the isolation hand has to be very relaxed in order for you to not lose the lash while you go and pick the extension. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.